Hello, hello, hello. I am the Linux Mensch. Today, I'm going to take a look at Cachy OS. So, let's get to it. Today, I'm in my bare metal computer running Arch Linux with the awesome window manager, and I'm going to open up a web browser. So now I'm in the Brave browser, and I'm going to type in Cachy OS. Here it is here. Let's click it on. So they have a really nice website. Cachy OS is based on Arch Linux with their own customizations. So you could download here, or you could click on this and download it. And of course, you can go to the blog or the forum, or even they have a wiki. So what I'm going to do is click on download, and I'm going to scan down, and they have two ISOs. And this is something I really like about this distribution. They have one ISO for a desktop edition, download desktop edition, and they have another one for a handheld edition. And I suppose that's for a smartphone or a smart tablet that's built so that it will work with Linux. I guess. I really don't know. What I did was, and I'm not going to download it now, I downloaded the desktop edition. All you got to do is click on this. I downloaded the direct one, but you could go to SourceForge. And I downloaded the direct one. The ISO is 2.7 gig, and it took about 30 seconds to download. And I'm not going to download it now because I already have the ISO downloaded. What I do want to say about this, I like the fact that there's only two ISOs because some Linux distributions and even some Arch-based distributions have a different ISO for every different desktop or window manager experience. So there are some distributions that have like 4, 5, 6, 7 different ISOs depending on what desktop or window manager you want to install with it. And it's so confusing, and people are sitting there looking at the web browser thinking, which ISO should I download? So I like the fact that Cachy OS has only two ISOs, one for a handheld device and one for a desktop edition. But with the desktop edition, you can install various window managers and desktop environments, which you'll see when I go through the install. So now I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to make a virtual machine, boot up into the live environment, and then I'm going to go through an install and take a brief tour of the system. So don't go away because I'll be back. Okay, so I booted on to the live ISO, and the first thing you get is the welcome screen. And actually, in Cachy OS, it's not called the welcome screen. It's called hello. Well, anyway, sorry. So, you have all kinds of information here, documentation, README, and here, notice at the bottom, you have installation, and you have an icon or a button to launch the installer. Now, most people, when they log on to an ISO, they might just click this on, which I did when I was playing with this off camera. I click this off, right? So, you know what? And before I do anything, I'm just going to open up a terminal. And there's several terminals installed. And of course, this is the live ISO. I haven't actually installed it yet. We have console and alacrity. And let's just open up console and let's type in xrandr-s 1360 by 768. It's the way I make all my virtual machines. Oh, that's better. So the default desktop in Cachy OS is KDE Plasma. And I did a few videos on KDE Plasma, but I never really lived in it. And it's not my favorite. Now, a lot of people love KDE Plasma. I'm not a lover of it. I find it to be really heavy and buggy. Anyways, that's besides the point. But the default desktop is KDE Plasma. So when you log on to the live ISO, this is what you're going to get is KDE Plasma. So one thing that's kind of funny is that when you log on, there's no icon here to click on the installer on the desktop or on the status bar. And when you click on here, I scooted around in here and I couldn't find the icon in here either. But the icon is on the hello screen or the welcome screen. So you can click it on there. But if you close the welcome screen or the hello screen, you're going to be looking for the icon to click on the installer and you're not going to be able to find it. Well, I couldn't find it anyways. And most distributions that come with a modern installer, most distributions will have the icon right on the desktop or in the status bar. So that is something that they could change, make it easier to find the icon. So if you closed the welcome screen and you went around, scooting around in here, and you can't find the installer, what you're going to do is click on the start menu. And first thing I did was I typed in welcome, but it didn't come up. Because because usually it's called the welcome screen, right? So let's erase that. You got to type in hello. They should change that too. No one's going to think to type in hello. Come on. So anyways, type in hello and let's click it on. So we're going to bring up the welcome screen again, or the hello screen. And there it is there, launch the installer. So I'm going to click it on, and it takes a moment to launch the installer. Why? I don't know. And also when I was logging on to the live ISO, it took a while to get onto the ISO. I think it's because KDE Plasma is so heavy. So anyways, here it's asking for the bootloader. Do we want Grub or Lyman? Anyways, I'm going to click on Grub. Like I was saying, it took a long time to log on to the live ISO, and I think it's because KDE Plasma is so heavy. And it also takes a while for the installer to come up. So, well, there it goes. So be patient. Okay, so we are on the installer. So it's American English. I'm going to click next. And it's recognizing my time zone, my city. So I'm going to click on next. Keyboard is good. Next. I'm going to click on here to erase the whole disk. So I gave this virtual machine a 50 gig hard drive. And I'm going to erase the disk. And the default is ButterFS. I'm just going to go with ext4. And I'm going to click this on. I'm going to encrypt it. Now I'm going to put, normally for my virtual machines, my passwords are really simple passwords because they're virtual machines and it's for the sake of the video. So I'm going to encrypt this and I'm going to put a simple password in, like I always do in my videos, and it's accepting it. See the green check mark here? It's accepting it. So now I'm going to click on next. Now here it lists all the desktop and window managers that you can install. But whatever one you want to install, you don't click it on here. I made that mistake and it didn't work. What you want to do is click next. Okay, and here's where you click it on. So by default, the KDE desktop is the one that's going to get installed. So here you see we have Cachy OS packages, base develop, which is a Arch Linux thing, KDE desktop. And then at the bottom, we have here microcode CPU. So I'm going to leave this clicked on because I want that. And I'm going to leave the very first one clicked on because I want the Cachy OS packages. And I want base develop clicked on so I can use the AUR. But I don't want KDE Plasma. Now, KDE Plasma has a lot of lovers, so don't be offended. I don't care for it. So I'm going to unclick it because I don't want it. And I'm going to click on Gnome Desktop. And I'm going to click on Hyprland. And of course, you can click on whatever ones you want. So now I'm going to click on next, and I'm going to put my name in, Mitch, and I'm going to log in with Mitch. And I'm just going to change the name of this computer to Cachy. And now watch this. I'm going to put my simple password in, the same password I use in all my virtual machines and in all my videos. And I'm going to tab it and put it in again. And it says password is too short. Now it didn't say the password was too short for my encryption. As a matter of fact, I used the exact same password for my encryption because it is just a virtual machine for the sake of the video, right? And it's saying it's too short. Now, most distributions that have a modern installer, they will warn you that the password is too short, but they will allow you to continue going on with it. This won't let you. So if you see, it's saying the password is too short, and the next button is dead. The next button is not alive. You can't press it. So it's forcing you to put a better password in, which is really odd because it doesn't force you to put a better password in for the encryption. Okay, that's a bit strange. Anyways, let's put a different password in, a real password. Okay, so now I got the green sign, and now see the next button is alive. It's letting me press next. And this is just a page to make sure everything is okay. And I'm going to click on install. Install now. So I really like the colors. The colors and the theming of this distribution are absolutely beautiful. So this install is going to take about 10 minutes. So I'm going to pause the video and come back. So don't go away. I'll be back. Okay, it finished. So it took maybe even less than 10 minutes. I didn't really time it. So what I'm going to do is click on this and click on done. And now it's rebooting. And I'm going to pause the video and come back when we're at the login screen. So don't go away. I'll be back. So if you install the system and you encrypt it and you end up on this page, don't get scared where it says welcome to Grub. Don't think that for some reason your system failed to boot. It's just asking you for the encryption password. And remember, I put a 2-digit encryption password in. and it allowed me to do it, but it wouldn't let me do it for the user. Anyways, okay, so let's put my encryption password in and hit enter. And now it's going to bring us to the display manager or the login screen. Okay, we are at the display manager or the login screen. And because I installed Gnome, it installed GDM as my display manager or my login manager. So I'm going to click this on and click on this icon down here. You can see we have Gnome, Gnome Classic, and Hyprland because I installed Hyprland. But first I'm going to go into Gnome. Okay, so I'm going to put my password in and I'm going to skip the tour. And again, we get the Cachy welcome screen or the hello screen. And launch at startup, I'm going to turn that off. The next time I boot into the system, I don't want this coming up. What I'm going to do is go into display settings. Oh, sorry about that. Let's change this to dark style. That's better. And let's change this to 1360 by 768. Keep the changes. Let's get out of here. So this is standard Gnome. I'm not going to spend too much time in here because I recently did a whole video on Gnome. Now some interesting things. Let's click on this icon here. So Cachy have their own browser. It's a hardened fork of Firefox. I'm going to click it on. So like I said, it's their own browser, Cachy browser. It's a hardened fork of Firefox, and it comes with uBlock Origin, the ad blocker already installed. Is that nice? And I'm going to close this. And there's some other packages that Cachy have installed. They have btop instead of htop. Let's click it on. And I've heard of btop, but I've never used it. It seems to be, I don't know, too much information. Not sure if I like it. But anyways, let's close that. Let's go back into my apps. So here is your Cachy Hello, Cachy Kernel Manager. Oh, really? What is that about? Cachy Package Installer. They have a package installer. How about that? They have popular applications, audio. Let's close that. Browsers. You have the Brave browser, Cachy browser, which is installed, so you can see it's faded. Chromium, Firefox, Libre Wolf, Qt browser, Tor browser, Vivaldi, Communications, Discord, Telegram. This reminds me of the installer that's in Manjaro, I think. Mail. You can install Evolution, Gary, Kmail, Thunderbird. So this is the package manager. In Office, they have all these. LibreOffice or OnlyOffice bin, which comes from the AUR. This is really interesting. I think this is like the Manjaro one. I'm not sure. For video, you can install OBS, OpenShot, VLC, Kdenlive. And for virtualization, what do they have? Now, these are not installed. This is just the package manager in case you don't want to install things in the terminal. You have GNOME boxes, Virt Manager, and VirtualBox. Very nice. So I'm going to close this. And so that's Gnome, and like I said at the beginning of this video, it's going to be a brief tour. Okay, so let's log out of here. Like I said, I just recently did a whole video on Gnome, so I don't want to spend too much time in it. So I'm going to click on my name, and I click on this icon, and I'm going to click on Hyprland. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to put my password in. And we're going to log into Hyprland now. I've never used Hyprland. So I played with Hyprland a little bit earlier today off camera when I was playing with Cachy OS. And I played with Hyprland. Now, I never did a video on Hyprland. And I played with Hyprland a few weeks ago in a virtual machine in pure Arch Linux. I installed Hyprland, and all I got was a black screen. And I played around with the configuration a bit, and it was really hard. I spent a lot of time on it. And I didn't get to change the configuration or build the configuration or modify the configuration. And I didn't get to know and understand Hyprland well enough to make a video on it. So I went on to something else. But this Hyprland is configured. I really like it. It's beautiful. It's really nice. So you have your workspace here. Now the workspaces that have nothing on them become invisible. So you have your clock here. And you can click it on for your calendar. And of course, you have your temperature. I really like that. I love the temperature. So it's plus 14 Celsius. and I have 30 gigs left on my hard drive because I gave this virtual machine a 50 gig hard drive. And I'm using just over half of my RAM. I gave this virtual machine 4 gigs of RAM, and this is my processors, and I'm using 14%, 0%, seems to be moving around a lot. So if you put your mouse over here, you can see this virtual machine has 4 processors. You can see the 4 processors. And right now my volume is at 69%. If you hover over it and move your mouse wheel, you can increase the volume or decrease the volume. And here you have your power switch, so we can lock it. And let's put my password in. This is i3 lock, by the way. Let's hit that power button again. And of course we can log out, suspend, reboot, shut down, hibernate. And escape will get us back to the screen. Mod key or super key spacebar will bring up this run launcher. So let's say we type in browser. Oh, there it comes up, Cachy browser. Let's click it on. And there's our Cachy web browser, which is, like I said, a hardened fork of Firefox. And it comes with the ad blocker already installed. I have audio and video because I tested it off camera. And now to close the web browser, well, actually you could just do this, right? And let's open up a terminal. So mod key enter will open up a terminal. HTOP is not installed. So I'm going to do sudo. First of all, let's see if we're up to date. I think we are. Let's do sudo pacman yu. Put my password in, and there's nothing to do. So we're up to date, which is normal for an Arch Linux install. So I'm going to install sudo pacman s htop. I like htop. And let's clear the screen. Let's do an htop. So we're running at 522 megabytes of RAM. It's a little bit high for a window manager, but Hyprland I think uses more resources than awesome window manager or Qtile window manager. And the processors are running a little bit high because I don't have anything else open, right? There's no web browser open or anything. So to close it, it would be mod key or the super key, Q, and that gets you out of there, okay? And mod key spacebar, and let's do Cachy browser, mod key spacebar. Let's run Gnome terminal. Let's clear the screen. Let's do an htop. And what else? Oh, it's running really hard. Oh yeah, I have my web browser open. And let's open one more thing. Let's do mod key spacebar. Let's do Nautilus. Let's run Nautilus. There we go. Oh, let's make those icons smaller. Okay. So this is the way the tiling works. And let's close that. Mod key Q. Mod key Q. Close the terminal. Yes. Mod key Q. Another thing I want to show is this mod key spacebar. Let's open up Nautilus by itself, okay? And let's go to another. So we're going to do mod key. Let's do mod key 2. So now we're on workspace 2. Let's open up our web browser. We're opening up the web browser. So we have the web browser on space 2, and let's do mod key 1. Will take us to our file manager. So the workspaces only show up there if there's something on them. So mod key 2 will take us to that one. Mod key 1 will take us to that one. And now I'm going to shut it. So mod key Q. So let's go to workspace 2. And now see workspace 1 vanished because there's nothing on it. And let's shut this. Mod key Q will shut the web browser. And that's it. In this video, I showed you how to download and install Cachy OS. And I gave you a brief tour of it. First, I logged into the Gnome desktop environment. And it didn't stay too long in there because like I said, I recently did a long video on Gnome. And then I logged into Hyprland. And I didn't show too much in there because I'm not that familiar with Hyprland. I think Cachy OS is a very interesting distribution. It's based on Arch Linux, and they have their own configurations. The install is really easy. And during the install, they give you the option of installing various window managers and or desktop environments. And they have quite a selection there. And I like the fact that they only have one ISO. Well, they have two ISOs. They have one ISO for a handheld, which I didn't look at, and they have an ISO for desktop. But they offer during the install you to install any window manager or desktop environment that's available in Linux. And I like that a lot. And I like the fact that they don't have a different ISO for every desktop experience or every window manager experience. So during the install, I installed Gnome because I'm familiar with Gnome. And I installed Hyprland because I never used Hyprland, even though I played with it about a few weeks ago or a month ago, and I found it really hard to work with. So that's why I picked Hyprland. And of course, a lot of people are raving about Hyprland. And I like the fact that their version of Hyprland is highly configured. So you really don't have to do anything to it. And I think their version of Hyprland is the perfect version of Hyprland to start off with, to become familiar with and to play with it. And I think I'm going to play with it and learn how to use it a bit more. I like the fact that their version of Hyprland is configured and it works out of the box. So the only thing I would say is that they should get the install icon right on the desktop of the live environment, or at least on the status bar. And other than that, I think it's a great distribution. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I am the Linux Mensch.